Hey, Misty, it's been a while. Let's catch up.
Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grant Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, in FLC. Closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, and that you can quote me in FLC.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the FLC Hangout, where your freedom lifestyle begins. I'm so excited to be back with my wonderful co-host, Misty. Thank you. I've missed you. I missed you. So let's catch up. Let's talk about life. Before we get into everything that we're going to talk about, though, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification too, so you never miss an episode, because you don't want to ever miss an episode. So make sure you do all of that. Comment below if you're excited to get into this. I sure am. So without further ado, make sure you're following us on Instagram. They're on the screens now and in the descriptions below. With all that being said, Misty, what are we talking about today?
Oh, Josie, I just want to catch up with you. I mean, I've missed you. We haven't been able to talk much lately because we've been so busy with so many things going on. I just kind of want to touch base with you and kind of see where you at, how's things going. Are you still out there? Are you still alive? I mean, we're in different countries, so we may see each other every morning, but it's for like 15 minutes and then we're off to our days. So don't get to talk to you much.
I know, and I think that that's also actually a first really good point. If anyone that's watching right now has been around for the Hangout for a while, you'll know that we used to be a lot more consistent. We were just speaking about this, a lot more consistent, a lot more online. And recently, actually, this year has been really busy for us, right? It's been not like non-stop, not almost non-stop, non-stop. So that's also something that we're working on to get more consistent again so we can reach more people. But that's a really good point. We've been really busy doing all these doings. Saying that though, because we've been doing so many doings, we have things to talk about. We have little learnings along the way that we've talked about, right? So this is, before we get into it too, for anyone watching, this is your sign to go out there and do doings, speak to people, post, make mistakes, do all this, get yourself out there, because you're gonna look back and think, whoa, like I have so much experience and ahas from all of this. And it's been a really good year for us, I think, learning wise and everything else wise too. What's been a big learning for you recently?
Oh, recently, there's been so many. Like, I've had to learn again, all over again. You can't judge a book by its cover. You have to get to know the person for who they are and what they are and try to understand their position and their situation and stuff like that. I've had to learn to become more disciplined. I'm still working on that one, by the way. I'm getting better, but I am still working on that one. There's been so many. What have you learned?
Oh, I think, like you said, there's so many, but especially actually, we just as a team did something very exciting. And we're doing something very exciting. Not sure how much I can actually say about it. I don't know. But it's uncomfortable. We're going through as a team training and learning, and we're all learning a new skill.
I think we've talked about it on another episode, though, so it should be okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we're learning stage training and speaker training. And obviously, we all know how to speak to people, and we all know the skill of sales, and we're all well versed in that. But it's different. It's different when you're speaking to a crowd of people, and there's so many things to think about, so many reasons why you do certain things. So we're doing that currently as a team, and that's my aha or my learning recently is to stay uncomfortable because that makes life fun. Like it is uncomfortable, in a good way because it's a skill that you're learning, and it's like, oh my God, like you have to be okay to suck at it. And I think that's what's really cool. I we I know I tell students a lot, be okay with not being good at it first when it comes to sales. Because I speak from a personal experience. Be okay with sucking at it. And now I'm like, go on, Josie, take your own advice. So I think
Yeah.
that's a big learning for me recently is just it like nothing's that serious anyway. Nothing.
Well, like Chabaria mentioned, we're our own worst critics. And like Chabaria mentioned this morning well, for me, it's morning, afternoon for you. She said, what was it? Criminally, another misty moment. I haven't been doing so well.
It's like 4 a.m. for you or
Yeah,
something.
like, I got up at 4. Well, I got up at like 3 a.m. So yeah, but anyway, what she said was something to along the lines of being uncomfortable and not being so harsh. You're your own worst critic. You're harsh on yourself. Your audience doesn't know your script. They
Hmm.
don't know it. So if you mess up, unless you say so, they don't know. And realizing that, I've had a hard time with that. I just was on a call day before yesterday with an amazing, amazing woman, and I messed up the entire thing. I messed up the entire thing. And she has chosen to go with a different one of us in the core family, which is fantastic because she wanted a later in the day than I could do, or that Chabaria could do. So that's fantastic. The important thing is that she's getting the help she needs, and that's what counts the most. But it was like, I have to quit being hard on myself. I did what I could do at the time. My body was just like, I had already been up since 2 a.m. and this call was like at 6 or 7 p.m. or something like that. And I'm like, I had already been up for so long, and I had been Chabaria and I don't know about you, how much you've been doing, but Chabaria and I have been working almost around the clock for over a week, or if not longer than that. So it was like, at that time I had that call, my body was like, you're tired, you got to go. And I was trying to do this call right, and I messed up on everything. And I'm like, I just apologized to her. I am so sorry. I've been up since 2 a.m. I've been working since then. I do apologize. It is getting later for me because I'm in a different time zone than she is. She's like, no, it's okay. So it's not, I don't think it was the fact that I messed up so much because she doesn't know unless I say something. But it was the fact that she wanted the call later, is why she chose to go with somebody else, which is fine. Because what matters is that she gets the help and she gets the answers she's looking for. That's what matters the most to me. So I think it's absolutely awesome. And I think that being aware of that, and like, that's an aha moment in itself. Being aware of being okay with somebody else taking over can be a blessing. It's a learning experience. And yeah, it can kind of hurt your ego, but you know what? You got to let go of the ego. Because what we have to really focus on what really matters in the situation. And what really matters here is that she's getting the help she's looking for in the areas she needs at the time she needs it. Maybe it
Yeah.
just we didn't resonate. That's okay. No problem with that. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really good point, like in general too. Um, the being okay with messing up, or the thing about no one actually knows that you messed up. unless you say so, right? Or maybe it's obvious, like it's obvious if you stumble over your words or you say something wrong, like that's obvious, but that if we mispronounce a word, that's not messing up. Like you're right, it's all part of speaking. There's no
It's
there's
okay to
probably
be human.
exactly. Exactly. And now I'm getting a horse in my throat.
Yeah.
And it's okay, it's all part of it. I think that's a really good point though, for just life in general. Like no one knows what you're meant to be doing. No one knows what plan you actually have in your head to for every day, for your life, for in 5 years' time. So no one's gonna look at you and think, they're messing up. They're not on the path they want to be. Because how do they know what path you want to be on?
Mhm.
So
Maybe you're
just
doing it on purpose.
exactly.
Maybe you're doing it
Exactly.
on purpose to throw people off. Maybe the people who are sitting there pointing it out are just being too judgmental and don't realize you're doing it on purpose.
Exactly. There
Pattern
is,
interrupt.
yeah, there's no right way to there's no one right way to do things. There is right way to do things. There's no
Yeah.
one right
One.
way to do things. There's no right way to do things. No. Um,
We're
so
just
yeah,
wrong all the time. No, I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
No, don't write that. If you wrote that down, delete it. But yeah, I really like that point that you said is what I'm trying to get at. Because it's important to remember that we're all human at the end of the day. You're a human with emotions and feelings and dreams and goals and different paths to get there. Um, Go ahead.
Yeah, I like that we can sit here and say we're all human. And if you're not, then we love you anyway. As long as we can connect with people and try to be understanding and realize, you know what? They're just having a human moment. It's just something's going on that they're just fleeting moments or whatever. That's fine. It's okay to make mistakes because like they say, there's no real um what is that? I can't think of the exact wording, but failure doesn't exist. It's a
Mm,
learning experience, right? So
yeah,
take everything as a learning experience and take it with a grain of salt, as they say, and just roll with it.
exactly. Exactly. And I love that. You said something earlier too that I wanted to come back to because
Uh-oh.
and you actually shared uh-oh you
Uh-oh.
sh- you shared this as like as a win or a learning on a team meeting recently too, and I definitely relate to this point. And it's something that I actually have been thinking about a lot recently too, like my whole sales journey, but a lot recently as well. Um, is the judging a book by its cover kind of thing. And I think it's safe to say that a lot of people do that in sales. You don't reach out to a certain person because you're already in that mindset of they're going to say no, they're going to be rude, they're going to do this from just your own thoughts, right? So I have some things I want to say on this subject too, but I want to ask you as well, like what was your experience or your learning around that subject?
Oh, I've had a big learning on that subject lately. Um, I love all of our leads, our students, everybody we talk to. They're just so incredibly amazing. I absolutely love it. However, I was in a situation where I was talking to a couple of different people, and I kept thinking the first time I'd ever talked to them, I'd never spoken to them before, and it was over message. And some things can be misinterpreted over message. It's just the way things are. And I kept thinking, oh, these people they're going to be somewhat difficult. They're very like um, I don't know how to put it. Other than saying difficult or just very stern, or I'm going to have a few issues with this. Am I going to be able to be able to help these people um, because they're kind of standoffish or something? And I was, I was texting them over message. And then when I got on the call with them, these are the most amazing people. And they're both like thriving right now and they're doing so incredibly awesome that I completely psyched myself out for no reason. But what did I do when I went onto those calls? Even though I was having those thoughts, those were my thoughts. They were wrong, completely wrong. And I didn't go into those calls expecting a fight. Let me just say that right now. I did not expect it. I went in with a clear mind, clear heart. No matter what happens, these are people, they deserve to be treated with dignity, respect, and I'm going to give that to them. I'm going to listen to what they have to say, and I'm going to do whatever I can or whatever good it takes to help them out.
Yeah.
And it ended up being that one of them, no, two, both of them almost ended up crying, both, on the calls. So it's like, I was trying to remember, because I do remember one practice, she had to stop and like conduct, control herself. And then the other one did a little bit too. And she's like, I'm going to cry or whatever. But so they ended up being happy, and which is what matters the most. And which is, I'm glad that they were able to get, I was able to help them do that and whatever they needed. So that was a huge learning for me, because I think as human beings, we do that. We prejudge things and go into situations with a certain mindset. And then we can become standoffish ourselves and put that barrier up, thinking, oh, you're not going to get to me first or whatever. And we can't do that. That's just, we have to be able to be open, to be able to get to know people, understand where they're coming from, and realize that they're not you. They don't come from the same background you do. They don't have the same life experiences. They're not you. You have to be open and willing to get to know the other person without judgment. And you'll be surprised at how amazing people are. Sorry to talk so long, Josie. You said you had something else you wanted to add to this.
Yeah, no, it's kind of just backing off what you were saying. I had to go let let someone out, but I heard everything you said. Um, and it's so true. And I still do it. I still catch myself doing it, but now I'm better at Josie, like, what are you saying? Because now
Yeah.
I'm aware about it, about just having certain expectations of the way things are going to go, or this person's going to say no because of this. Huh? Do you hear how silly that is for you to put your expectations on this person? And I'm speaking to myself, but I hope that this resonates with anyone, you and anyone listening as well. That is so silly to put your thoughts and your expectations of what they're going to say onto that person and already show up in that conversation thinking that the way you thought it out to be is going to be correct, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because like you said, a lot of times we jump on these calls and they're lovely, they're lovely people, and and it is a yes, and they pay in full. Like that has happened before. So I've gone to a conversation that I'm like, I don't want to do this because it's just they're gonna be mean and they're gonna say no. Gold painful on the same call. So like it's just yeah, it's not fair to the other person for you to put your expectations onto them for any what reason. But it's the same again. We're talking about sales because Misty and we are in the sales team. So most of our experiences in certain areas are through sales, but it transpires to, I think, just life in general and anyone you speak to. I was talking to Pierre the other day, and I can't remember exactly. There's this concept is called something. He learned it from somewhere, but it's that if you believe something is going to be a certain way, it's going to be that way because you go into that situation and into that environment looking for ways to prove your point. If you believe something or someone is going to be a certain way, your brain is going, without you realizing, going to try and look for evidence to prove that you're right. So if you go into a certain conversation thinking that they're going to be a horrible person, they're going to tell you no, they're going to judge you, whatever it is, you're probably going to pick up little signs or little things they say or their body language and interpret it in a way that proves that you're right, when maybe that's actually not at all what they're doing. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah,
So
it did.
it just you start to interpretate the tone in their voice or the way they said something or the way their body language is in a way that proves that you are right, when actually a lot of the case that's not true. So I really like this topic too, because I'm definitely still guilty about it, of it, definitely. And I need to catch myself. But that's another thing. The more you learn, the more rehas, the more you relearn something, the faster you get catching it and throwing it back in the bin.
I like
So
in the hee-haws.
yeah, the ahas, the rehas, the he
And the
has,
hee-haws.
he has, all of the above. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to kind of change the subject just a little bit, Jesse, because I want to be able to check in with you because we just came off the P1M event, the Project 1 Million in 1 Year event. And like I said, Shabaria and I have been working almost around the clock. And I know that you are super busy all the time anyway. I want to check in with you. Are you okay? Are you taking rest? Are you eating? Are you drinking enough? I know you're drinking water now, but I just want to check in with you and make sure that is there anything that I can help you with, or you are doing okay? Just because I
Oh,
want to be able to make sure, we're family now, maybe in different
yeah.
countries. And I'm like, I have to say that I keep, how I keep sending you videos and I keep sending Chubaria videos and stuff to do in your guys' countries. I'm sitting here looking at all these videos and I'm like, Josie and I are gonna go do this. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna
Yeah.
do this. So I'm like thinking about where can we go first and what can we do first? And yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of, just before I answer your very sweet question, there's a place to go karting in Vegas for when we're in Vegas together.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love it.
I saw it as I was looking at
We're
places
so
to
good.
stay.
Here we
And
come.
little maybe spoiler to anyone listening,
Yeah.
watching, Misty and I maybe might see each other in person very soon, which is very exciting. I was looking for places for us to stay, and I saw go-karting, and I was like, and it's not that far away, so that's a different conversation. But
We should have to. We'll have to
yeah.
plan that out so we could do first episode of the
Yes.
it's so
So stay
exciting.
tuned for that, everyone. Sometime
Yeah.
next year. Don't want to give too much away, to promise too much, but it's going to be exciting. But to answer your question, thank you for asking. In terms of it's getting better. So my sleep, my like diet, my water intake is something I've really been thinking about recently. And just managing everything is getting better. It's not where I want it to be. Um, it's definitely something that I used to not pay much attention to. I used to really not pay attention to how much water I was drinking. I was like, nah, I don't get thirsty anyway. I don't need to do that. Or I'd either just eat like shit or just not eat. Or and then even if I am eating healthy, just not enough or whatever. Um, but now I'm glad you asked this. I've had a really big realization that I can only do my best like every day if I take care of me first. So it's like I said, not perfect, but it's getting better. The whole balancing FLC and then helping my mum at the studio, and like I'm at the studio every day, sometimes multiple times a day. So unless it's Saturday, actually Saturday I don't need to go in, so maybe that's when I learn a dance or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, your dance videos are freaking on fire, by the way. I love them. I cannot
Thank
wait
you.
till I can feel more comfortable in front of the camera and I'll be doing some too. And then we
Yay!
can kind of collab or something. But I'm like, those are
Oh,
so freaking fire.
thank you. I'm so down. I'm so down to do dance videos with you. Um, Thank you. But this is yeah, definitely something I've been working on recently, and it's getting better. I actually got this thing called Whoop. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this on me recently. I got it like 2 months ago. Um, and this basically helps me track all these things. Am I sleeping enough? how well is my body recovering every day? And the reason I'm bringing that up is because, and this is a very, very change of the subject of what we were just talking about, but since I've actually been really thinking about resting properly, recovering properly, sleeping properly, listening to what it tells me of when to go to sleep, making sure I'm drinking enough water, my recovery, which is how ready you are for each day, has improved since I've been mindful about all these subjects. And the point I want to get at as well is that I haven't improved much in these areas, to be honest with you. My water is better, yeah. But the rest, I'm getting more mindful. It's okay.
When it comes to the water, I have an idea. I'm going to buy you a gift.
Oh,
When
I like,
I am sending this other stuff. I am sending it.
yeah.
I will be sending it like within the next month or two. And I'm going to buy you a gift. And you're going to be like, holy crap. Because it's going to help with the water intake. So
Oh,
be expecting that.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
thank
I
you.
love it.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited. But yeah, that's the point I want to make. Like you don't have to make drastic changes in certain areas to improve. It's like that 1% rule. Get 1% better each day and things will
Mhm.
improve. So that's why I'm saying like I haven't made much changes. I'm just a little bit more mindful and I feel the improvements. I'm doing better. So to answer your question, I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing
Good.
better. Like I'm on that
Yeah.
mental journey of improving each day, which is nice. But how are you? You, by the
I'm
way,
good.
for anyone that doesn't know, I don't, Misty doesn't sleep. She actually like doesn't even have a bed or a bedroom because she just doesn't sleep. She literally sits at the desk at the computer and then she goes to help our clients and sees her
I work
family.
with one eye open. It's like I
Yeah,
sleep off my body.
no, it's a fact. You can fact check me on that. She doesn't have a bed. but Misty's very hardworking, is what I'm getting at.
No, I'm trying to really. My biggest learning that I'm really really working on because it's been really difficult for me is like I've told Shabaria and Seb before. I have a hard time. I guess it's a boundary that when because we work with people all over the world, right? And a lot of our people I come across are in different countries, so it's different time zones, and I have a hard time that if I set that I'm like I need to set a book appointment with these people. They're in a different time zone. That's when I'm be sleeping, and they can't do it in the time when I'm awake. So I will like, okay, well I'll make this exception and I'll go ahead and do it. And so I open up my calendar and my time to do that. And then it's like I don't sleep or I get very little sleep. It's all broken. I do have a bed, but she misses me. She's in the bedroom calling my name all the time, but I kind of ignore her, you know. When you raise so many kids, you're like, you can ignore anything. Um, but it's my thing is I have this difficulty, I guess, just saying no. Like I can't do it at this time. So I set certain times, not this last PPF, but the one we did in January, February of this year with Chabaria. I set certain times of when I would be available to do demos and take calls, right? Um, I haven't stuck to that because I have a hard time with that. And it's like I feel guilty doing that because when I'm supposed to be sleeping, you guys are up working, and I feel like not only do I feel like I'm missing out, but I'm doing something wrong because I'm not up working when you guys are. Like I should be working at the same time. And then I have a client during the day, and I'm like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, whatever, you know. But and people are like, why don't you sleep? You need to rest. And it's like, yeah, but I have a dream, and I have something I want to achieve, and so I have to give a little bit extra right now so I can rest more later and have more free time later. But I just have this I haven't been able to set that full boundary and keep it myself that these are my times that I can do my calls. Because to me, I should be on call all the time. And it's to be honest, it's not healthy and it's not really something I should be doing. And I'm working on it. But saying no, and I can only do it around these times, is really difficult for me because, like I said, I feel guilty. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, even though I'm not. And realizing that my time and my health and my sleep is just as important as doing all this other stuff. That's hard. That's a really hard lesson I'm learning.
Yeah, I would argue it's more important because I think you can only do your best and give your best to the people that you are giving it to if you're okay first. And
Yeah,
I think,
I tell that to
yeah,
people too. It's like, take your own advice.
yeah, because like yeah, you're like so nice, and everyone in the family is nice,
Just
but
don't tell
like
people that.
Misty's
Don't
actually
let
like,
that get out.
once you get to know her, she's really horrible and scary.
Yeah.
I'm only here because I'm scared of her. No, I'm just kidding.
She gets chained to the wall later tonight,
I'm actually in Misty's basement right now.
Yeah, right.
No, 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 no. Like you're so nice that you like want to cater to people, which is great. But your health is more important. I care more about your health than these people getting the call, because not that I don't care about the people getting the call, but because I know that you can only keep going and talking to these people that need you if you're okay first. So your sleep and your health is more important, I would say, than everything. And like you said, there's the dream, there's the goal, and sometimes you do need to give a little bit more. But if it's to the point where maybe it's affecting you daily,
Yeah.
then
Even when I tell Chabaria or anybody in the chats that, hey guys, I'm not feeling well, I'm very low energy, I feel so guilty doing that. It's like, oh, I gotta be on there. I have to do this stuff. But it's like, I have to take care of me first, because this is what I tell everybody else. You can't give the best of yourself to anybody else unless you take care of yourself first. You have to be the best version of yourself in order to be able to take care of anybody else. So, like you said, we just have to take our own advice. And like I said, that's something I'm learning because I'm really good at people pleasing. I'm really good at it. I shouldn't be, because you don't want to be a people pleaser. I need to be able to, because a little bit of backstory. My mother was, and this is only my point of view, not saying this is actually how it played out, but the way I saw it was my mother was only me, 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 and I am being selfish. I didn't want to be that way. So I became the opposite. Okay. Now I'm learning mom was not being selfish. She was doing what was right for not only herself, but for me. And so switching that mindset and changing to that new behavior, it's been really hard. And then, I have 4 kids of my own, and I've always given everything I can to them and to my ex. And now it's like I'm alone and my kids are grown and moved out and I'm divorced. And it's like, now where does all that energy go? Instead of putting a lot of that energy into myself, it's going to FLC. It's like, ah, I'll get it. I'll get it.
yeah, it's a journey. Like it's the same with me figuring out. I thought I was okay. I thought I was doing good in certain areas until someone else
Yeah.
told me, hey, no, your sleep is terrible, your hydration's terrible. You weren't on coach's call last time, this past week, because you had things that you had to do. He was talking about actually quite a large segment was because another team member, Shishi, was not so well recently too, and she was quite sick. So quite a large segment of what he talked about with us on that call. It was actually only me, Shakshiti, and Seb there. But it was letting yourself be sick. And that's the example he gave because of just means was sick. But it also is the same for letting yourself rest. Like if you're sick, if you're feeling tired and just drained and body, that's your body saying, if you're not going to rest, I'm going to make you rest. I'm going to make you feel so exhausted you can't speak. I'm going to make you have a fever so that you are forced to rest. And he was saying, like, in those days, he used to be the same too. Like, he would, even if he was sick, he was like, no, 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 I should be doing work. Like, I need to stay ahead. I'm going to fall behind. But he realized that if in those spaces, you don't just let yourself just be sick for, and not, I don't always mean like actually be sick. I mean, like
Yeah.
be sick, be unwell, that it will actually harm you further. So let yourself rest. Otherwise, your body will force you to. I saw this really nice post as well on Instagram the other day that said something along the lines of rest is like one of the highest forms of self-love in a world that so encourages exhaustion. We live in a society now that encourages exhaustion and going full out until you can't go anymore. People are like, yeah, when they say see people doing that or are doing that themselves. What? Like it's crazy. So rest is just as important as working, basically. Um, and it's not always easy to actually just let yourself turn off the notifications on your phone. Like, don't even look at it for maybe a day of the weekend or something, if not the whole weekend, because then you come back stronger in the week. And that any area of life that appeals to. But yeah, did
Yeah,
that make sense?
it did. It does. Because Coach and I were raised at a time when you went to work whether you were sick or not. You
Yeah.
could have a high fever, it did not matter. You were at work. In fact, I've had clients tell me, if you're sick, don't come in. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, if you have a sore throat or you are too tired or you just do not feel well at all, don't come in. I don't want to be sick. And it's like, okay. Because when I was growing up, my mother and my ex-husband said, if I had a cough and a fever and I was like, I had the flu, even if I was to get COVID, they'd be like, no, you go to work. You have to work. Quit making excuses. Suck it up. And it's like now trying to unlearn that can be kind of difficult.
Mm.
But anyway, Josie, we've been on for a while now, and I know that you have to get moving to other stuff. So do I. Is there anything else that you would like to maybe suggest or give advice to people about everything?
Yeah,
Anything?
I hope this. I know yeah, we're a little here and there this episode, but that was the aim to actually just speak. We didn't have a specific topic today, um, which I quite like sometimes. We just speak whatever's on the mind. So I hope that something we talked about resonated with you watching or listening. I also want to ask anyone watching or listening to either comment below or message one of us. Our Instagrams are in the description, of certain things that you would like us to talk about. I mean, we've been doing this now for what, 3 years almost for me,
Almost
about
3 years.
3 years. So, and by this, I mean both the hangout, but also sales, learning other things, learning speaking, training, talking to people. We're quite well versed, I would say, in areas. So if there's anything that you guys want us to touch on, we tend to stick mainly around the sales and things areas because that's our expertise, but we can talk about anything. So please do just let us know if there's something you want us to go deeper on, a certain question you have about a certain topic, that you want advice or us to talk about. But to leave people off, I want to come back to my biggest aha moment recently, I think, about all the things we talked about today. I want to remind people to stay uncomfortable, seek things that make you uncomfortable. You might be like, Josie, no, I'm actually quite okay being comfortable and not being nervous and anxious every day in my life. But what if I was to tell you that that's a way to grow? That is the way to grow and change and up level. And there is no growth without discomfort. So yeah, get uncomfortable. Go find something that makes you uncomfortable and do it. Because most of the time that it makes you uncomfortable because you care about it and you want to do it and it's something that's going to grow you. So do it. Get uncomfortable.
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and leave it there. Because I can't think of anything else to say. Just go out and like Josie said, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Be yourself. We want to be able to at sometimes just have these episodes like this where we're just down. We don't have a certain topic. We can just kind of check in with each other, kind of make sure that everything's okay where we're all at, and continue to grow together and expand from there. So guys, we do have some really exciting things coming up. We have been, like Josie said, kind of pulling back a little bit. We're not going anywhere. Bear with us. We just have been really busy.
Slow down to speed up. We've just slowed down a little bit so that we can speed up.
Yep. It's like that rubber band, right? You pull the rubber band back and then let it go, and there it goes. Yeah. You should put yourself in a little like roller coaster. In that part. But yeah, so just stick with us, guys, because we do have some really incredible things coming up. We can't talk about them now because they are going to be big and they're all going to come out at the right time. So timing is perfect. With that being said, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode because we want to reach as many people as possible because everybody deserves to live a freedom lifestyle, and here's where it begins. So if we have changed, given you any aha moments, or if you've gotten anything from this, let us know in the comments. Say, yes, I did, and tell us what you got, okay? We love you guys. Welcome to the family where once you're an FLC, you're family for life. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Get out of here.